Hello, it's Dr. Rowe and welcome to this mini-series on facing your blocks and your fears. Now, this is a huge subject. This is part one, Facing the Truth Will Set You Free. That's the title of this particular section of the mini-series. This is one of the biggest areas. We could talk all day about this one subject. And in fact, when I run my Turning Point seminars, we do a whole section on this because people come in from all backgrounds. And whether you're watching this now and you're a mum, a dad, parents watching it together, it could be you're sat here and you're an entrepreneur and you're embarking on a journey of business, or it could be you're sat in a job right now and you're thinking you want to get out of your job, you want to start something maybe parallel to your job, generate some additional income, whatever it is. Every human being, myself included, all of us, doesn't matter what level you are in life, there will be certain things that come up that create blocks and fears. And we have to first of all acknowledge that. And that's why I've said we need to face it, acknowledge it, and then you can move on. So there are 4 things we're going to cover in this particular section. Hopefully you've got your pens out as usual and you're going to be writing them down and they're going to come up all over the screen, and I'm sure I'll be jumping around and moving about all over the screen as well. So the first thing to write down is everyone has a fear and you have to acknowledge it first. So write that down. Everyone has a fear, you have to acknowledge it first. Now, this is an important part of being a human being. So the minute you accept that, then you don't have to worry about being perfect. The challenge you've got is if your rules are too strict and you're given by a set of rules that say, I can't appear in the public eye or with my friends or my family or my business partners to have any fear in what I'm doing because that might scare them or it might make me look less a person, then straight away you're coming into this with the wrong attitude. It's much better as a human being to acknowledge that there's areas that you've got blocks. Acknowledge what those blocks are. By the way, guys don't like to use the word fear. They all talk about a block, whereas, interestingly enough, a lot of women are more open about it. They say, well, this is one of my fears, whereas a man goes, I don't have any fears, I've just got blocks. And then inside, they're really saying, well, actually, I do have a fear, but I just don't want to admit that it's a fear. Call it what you want. Whatever it is, it's something that's holding you back. That's the most important thing. So the first thing is acknowledge it and be aware that it's okay to be that as a human being. The second thing is this. We're going to look ahead into the future. So come with me for a moment. We're going to look ahead into the future, and I want you to imagine what you're doing. So whether it's putting together a program to speak to people, whether it's embarking on a journey to tell your boss that you want to give up your job and you're going to start a new business, whether it's the fact that you've met this beautiful person, a boy, a girl, a woman, a man, whatever that relationship is, and you're looking at them and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I really want to go and approach them. I just don't know how to do it. I remember this being a young teenage boy, in a little nightclub there with my friends, seeing a lovely girl across the dance floor, and the biggest fear for any boy at that age is the only way to get there is to cross the dance floor, and it feels like you're crossing the Niagara Falls. You have to walk and walk, everything slows down, and all your friends are looking at you, and she can see you coming towards you, and everything seems to be magnified. Because when we start to think about the things that are our blocks, they become magnified, and of course it becomes real, it becomes colourful. So the first thing we typically do is we make it bigger, we make it more colourful, we make it louder. And they're the things we do with our fears. What we have to learn to do very quickly is shrink them down, and we'll go through this process, and then we can start to magnify the things we really want, which is exciting stuff as well. So look ahead, and here's what I'd like you to do. Take a piece of paper out right now. Okay, what are we going to do? Piece of paper, and you're going to write down some of the blocks and fears that you could expect to encounter as you move towards that goal. So let's say it's property, for example, and you're fully aware that part of your property journey is going to mean going out and talking to people, looking at properties, and maybe raising money. So what are some of the blocks I've got? Well, one of the blocks might be I've got a fear of approaching the seller. Okay, write that down. What is the fear though? It's rejection. Okay, so we've got to be clear. It's not just the doing of the action that might be the block. It could be something that you're feeling inside about the doing of the action. So in this case, it's the fear of rejection. So that's what we need to write down. Another one might be you're speaking to your friends about raising money to build your property business, and you've got a bit of a resistance there. Notice where it is. Put your hand where it is. Okay, what does that feel like? Okay, that feels like it is rejection, but it's also being laughed at as well. What do you mean, you're getting into property? And okay, so this is a fear of ridicule. Okay, so that's different to fear. So what we've got to do is we've got a fear of rejection, we've got a fear of ridicule, we've got a fear of failure. Could be something else that comes up as well. So all I'm doing is I'm capturing on paper what I'm actually afraid of. Now, the minute you do that process, a lot of people go, you know what, this isn't quite as bad as I thought it was. But because it's in here, like a big bowl of spaghetti, you can't see the clarity. So write it down first. That's the second thing. The third thing on our list is this. With growth comes challenges, and with challenges comes problems. So the sentence to write down is the only people that don't have problems in life are lying in a morgue right now or in a cemetery. So if you went to a cemetery and you looked at the headstones there, maybe a grandparent or somebody you've known in the past, or it could be a family member or somebody that you just go down there, realize that they're completely calm, lying there under the ground. They don't have any fears. And this is actually came from a very famous speaker many, many years ago. He said, look, if you're alive and you're breathing and you've got ambitions and you've got desires and you've got dreams and you've got things you want to experience, with that will come challenges. So if you're stuck doing the same thing every day, head down, maybe in the same job, maybe you're doing the same thing in your business and you're not trying anything new, then the less you try new, the less challenges you're going to have, the less problems you're going to have. So you'll have less fears. But the minute you step out, as Anthony Robbins so beautifully says, he says the quality of your life is in direct proportion to the amount of uncertainty that you're prepared to live with on a consistent and regular basis. Meaning this, as a human being, the more you try something new, that will result in challenges, and that's going to bring out your fears. What happens is challenges tend to magnify your fears. Write that down. There's another great phrase to write down. This is one of mine. Challenges tend to magnify your fears, and once you become aware of them, then we can deal with them. So just be thankful that you've got challenges, thankful you've got problems, thankful that you've got opportunities in your life to grow. So that's the third thing. And the last part of this particular part in the mini-series is this. There are two types of fear. There is the survival fear, and then there's the self-confidence fear. Survival fear is this. Ugh! Lion coming towards me. Ah! Big mouth chasing me. Me? Go that way. Fear. Yeah? It's basically, I've got to survive. To stay alive, I've got to run away from that lion. That's very different to, oh gosh, I've got to go into work today and give a presentation in front of 4 of my peer groups plus 2 people from another country and persuade them to buy into the project that I'd like to present to them. That might be a fear of self-confidence. So that self-confidence fear that comes up in us is not a survival fear, although it comes from the same place. It's our body trying to protect ourselves the same way we try and protect ourselves from a lion. Some fears are real, and some are just in our minds. And the key here as we move forward through this and into the journey you're coming on with me is you've got to identify what's a real fear versus one you created in your mind. So what I'd like you to do as part of this first section is to start to write down some of the fears that you're aware of that you've created in your mind that you know with the right tools you can smash out the park. So there's a great exercise to finish on. So let me take you on to a journey into the next part, which is part 2, which is building your self-confidence, which ties beautifully in to the last section of what we just covered there. I'll see you on the other side in part 2.